Hi, I'm Winnie Brinks. I wanted to let you know this bill, House Bill 4260, is currently waiting to be taken up in the House Health Policy Committee. House Bill 4260 would require that a mammogram summary contain material medical information regarding a patient's breast density, her increased risk for cancer from dense breast tissue, and the difficulty detecting a tumor within dense tissue when using a mammogram. This bill could literally be the difference between life and death for so many women.
I had had so many mammograms for so many years that said normal. Sometimes I even had 2 mammograms a year just to be double sure that I didn't have cancer. So I was thinking, how in the world could this have been missed? So I was angry about it, but then I wanted to do something to change it, to do something with my anger and do something positive, hope something good would come out of it. That's when I learned that other women had gone through this and that a woman had already started changing laws in other states. And so I just decided we had to do this for Michigan women.
If Teresa knew that she had dense breasts, she would have spent $150 and had an ultrasound. It would have saved the insurance company probably $350,000 because they would have discovered this tumor 7 years earlier.
I decided to take things into my own hands as far as a legislative bill. The day that I was sitting at Lemon Holton, going through the rotation of specialty doctors, in between talking to the doctors, I decided that something has to be done to warn other women who are out there walking around right now with dense breast tissue, having no idea that they're at a 4 to 6-fold increased chance of getting breast cancer.
She has taken on this role of trying to save other women.
I wanted to continue the fight, and I called Winnie Brinks to see if she would be interested in working on the legislation. And she said she wanted to learn more about it.
Too many women are dying of breast cancer, and we know that we can detect it earlier and we can save lives. This is information that's relevant to me personally and to many of the people that I know. And it's also something that most of us knew nothing about before I started this conversation with them.
And since then she studied the issue and decided that she could support it.
What the bill does is require language in there that suggests you have a conversation with your physician. If you have dense breasts, it suggests that mammogram may not be the most useful tool. It is a useful tool, but it may not be the only one you should consider. So a conversation with your doctor is recommended to determine the best course of action for you as a patient.
If the law passes, the physician or the mammogram facility that read your mammogram has to give you information about your BI-RAD score, your density, and to let you know that that could increase your risk of breast cancer and that you may need additional screening to determine whether or not you have cancer.
And instead they send out a little postcard to women with a smiley face on it that says, everything's fine. Instead of, you have dense breasts, maybe you should have an ultrasound. Teresa got 10 cards with smiley faces all the time that tumor was growing. So I find it infuriating.
Sometimes for advocacy, in order to get the pendulum swing kicked in the rear end a little faster, it helps to motivate people by the threat of lawsuits. I think that's historically happened already, is what I'm trying to say. Do I think it's really necessary? Personally, no.
We want this law, we need it to protect our own health, because without it, women are not getting the message. Earlier detection means less treatment, better outcomes. I would worry about a hospital that wouldn't get behind this bill about what their priority and focus is. Is it patient care, patient healing, or is it about churning more business?
It's rare to find somebody whose life, whether you're male or female, it's rare to find somebody whose life has not been touched in a very negative way by breast cancer. And I think we all owe it to ourselves to take a look at this bill and give it a chance to have hearings and to pass through the legislative process.
We're trying to get it on the agenda for the committee that will decide, and we'd like it to get a hearing date. We need it to get on the agenda so that there's a chance to have people vote on it. If anybody wants to make sure that this law gets passed, they should call their representative and tell them that they want this bill to pass.
I think once this bill is passed, I think that Teresa's going to be able to move on in life. She never says no.
I watched her go through with dignity and strength a very, very devastating and frightening diagnosis.
I'm lucky to be here. I'm lucky to have survived so far the cancer. I'm lucky for all of my emotional support and my friends. And I feel like I'm actually living a healthier life having had cancer than I did before.
I feel lucky that she's alive. I feel lucky that she's healthy. I feel lucky because I'm her husband.
People like to label us as cancer survivors. I don't think that's exactly appropriate. I feel more like I'm surviving. It's not anything that I'm done doing. Cancer isn't 24/7 all the time. If you can concentrate on something else that gives you enjoyment, you'll be better for it. Because positive thinking and a good attitude will bring you a long way through this disease.
Please join me in the fight to get this important piece of legislation the attention it deserves in the Michigan legislature by contacting your legislator. You can find your representative by visiting house.mi.gov, or you can contact my office for assistance at 1-855-747-4946 or by email at winniebrinks@house.mi.gov. Together, we can make a difference for women's health.